Good evening, everybody. My name is Kuhan. I'm the director of Global Tamil Forum and one of the signatories to the Himalayan Declaration. I'm very grateful to be invited by NMSJ for this conference or this meeting, especially because I was very supportive of late Sobhita Thera, who brought about the single issue candidate last time and elected Maithripala Sirisena and the Yahapalana government. And we were all supporting that effort of Reverend Sobhita Thera those days. Now the topic today is about constitution reform, strengthen democratic values with national aspirations. I would just want to bring a current issue. There is a problem in KKS. A temple has been built on private land. Nothing is reported in the press. It's all very quiet. But there is a certain amount of activity in the north. When you examine that one, some vihara is built in total private land with the help of the military during COVID or whatever that is. And here is a president watching all these things. Ranil Wickremesinghe first, now Anura Kumara Dissanayake. Is there a rule of law? Is there laws for the people? And are there 2 or 3 sets of influential people running this country? What is the purpose of a constitution? If there is a constitution, it must be implemented in full so that people can rely on it, trust their life in that constitution. It doesn't happen here. Are we fit to rule ourselves? That's a basic question. Are they capable of ruling themselves? Why do the Tamil people demand federalism or self-rule? This is the problem. So when you address constitutional issues, you have to see how practically things are happening in this part of the world. Now, this is a recent phenomenon. As I understand it, from time immemorial, the people live in peace and harmony. All ethnic groups lived in peace and harmony. All kings in the past and queens governed this place fairly satisfactorily. There were no armed rebellions based on ethnicity. This is a relatively new phenomenon after 47. And that is something people didn't understand, the concept of democracy and the limitations of democracy. So various governments thought they could impose their will on anyone, for the benefit of themselves. So this is a fundamental issue we have to address, whether we can implement these constitutions. Constitutions, they're all wonderful things. I have nothing wrong. I can't see anything wrong with the constitutions. All are educated people, all of us can write constitutions. It is to implement it, whether we have the will to implement it. Now, it is Ranil couldn't handle the situation in KKS. I am waiting to see when Anura Kumara Dissanayake can do it. Now, I must credit Mrs. Bandaranaike. During her time, these things never happened. She was able to make sure the military was in their place. And none of even the Buddhist priests didn't do anything. So it all comes to whether our leaders know what constitutions are and whether they know what their responsibilities are, what their duties are, their obligations to the state or the individual, all these things. But it is all political. So it is in this circumstances, the minorities are demanding there must be a certain measure of self-rule so they can make sure these things don't happen. If the provincial government exists as it should under the 13th Amendment, these things would have happened because they would have had powers over these matters. Now, I was involved in the 30th Amendment in years gone by, represented the ENLF, negotiating on behalf of them with the government of India. There we expressed all our fears, and we were dealing with this 30th Amendment. And at that time, it was a completely different one when we were doing it. I mean, we had, they were giving the provincial powers, central powers, all these things. Finally, Mr. Dixit and Mr. Jayawardena cut the top off. And that is why TULF had to reject the amendment. Now what you have is a decorative document that the provincial councils doesn't do anything for anyone. It's a waste of money. But it is there. We want to keep it. It is part of the struggle which we have got into the constitution. We must have it. In addition, we must implement it. We don't know whether any of the people who are in power in the South, they are committed to implement a federal arrangement or anything like that. I'm sure Mrs. Chandrika Bandaranaike, during her time, she did a wonderful job. She brought that proposals, which a lot of us supported. Unfortunately, it couldn't see the end of the day, being part of the government system. Now what do we do? Where do you go from here? We had to think about it last few years, the Global Tamil Forum. We thought after the war, we haven't gone very far. Therefore, the best thing is to come back and talk to the Buddhist priests who have been involved in political matters and see how we can take this country forward. After the 30-year war, the Tamils have lost the war, the Sinhalese have lost the economy. We are all locked in a state where we can't go anywhere unless the foundations are properly laid for the peace. Everywhere in the West or the Far East, the societies have progressed. We haven't. Even now, we are struggling to make, one thing I have to say is about this incident in KKS, this vihara in private land. Who will ever come and invest in this country? Who will come when there is no law to protect private land? So you cannot expect any foreign direct investment or any diaspora coming here to put any money because they know their monies are not safe. So this is something the politicians have to address, to apply the rule of law, make it fair and free and unbiased to everyone, and people and their investments are protected. Having said that, so what do we do? Most of the laws, the bureaucracy here is what the British left. I mean, you go to the Municipal Act, it is 1947. Nothing has changed in this country. Now, during the Yahapalana time, I was trying to do some work in Jaffna. I mean, one of the things is mosquitoes, dengue, chikungunya. I mean, why should we have these things in this island? It's all sea. And around us, we should be able to clear this one. So with that intention, I started working with the mayor to find mayor doesn't have any powers. I mean, he can't even get the sewerage system going. Unless you get the drainage, sewerage, all these things working together, you cannot get rid of mosquitoes, chikungunya and things like that. I had words with the governor last week. So Anura has come with a lot of money for the health services. I mean, he wants to clean the place. Okay, now we have got some ideas here, some policies. Can we do it? And the fact is, you cannot. You must have a strategic authority to clear these things in the, I mean, I'm sure it applies to all the municipal councils. So there is administrative law, constitutional law, a lot of things which we have to address if we are going to develop this country. Development is not possible unless people who are in power and who are in administration, they have to come together to change institutions so that what we are going through will never happen again. At the same time, we should modernize so that we are in a modern world, we can do fast investments and get the rewards for it. I mean, I can talk about the Constitution. I mean, I don't take very much I mean, all of us have been doing this for the last 30, 40 years. Everyone knows what the issues are and what is to be done. And I recommend the Himalayan Declaration. It gives you the basis of a new constitution and how to govern this place.